Okay, guys. So first of all, I want to welcome all of you to Family First Life, and specifically to mine and Freddie's team, which is Family First Life Empowerment. We're excited about our growing team. We are very excited about helping all of you change the financial future for yourselves and your families. And most excited for all of the families that you're going to go out and help with life insurance policies that in turn pay you, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about as new agent is the WhatsApp. It is where we communicate as a team. I've got anybody who's not on there already, you just need to download. It is a free app. It's called WhatsApp, WHAT''S app. And once you download that, if you'll send me a text, just let me know that you have it. I can add you to the group. We have a full team called Empowerment and Continental. That is mine and my agent Chantel's teams. Chantel's team is part of Empowerment, but she's also big enough. She's at sales manager level. So, it's kind of like two teams in one. Now, and I've added you guys into a new agent. And the picture on it says, let's get started. And that's because I have so many people kind of in the same situation. It's having a separate group where we can ask questions I thought would be really beneficial, okay? So the WhatsApp is very important. That is where we report our numbers every Wednesday or on Thursday morning for our submit business. We kind of cheer each other on. There have been some pretty funny things posted on that, those of you who've been paying attention. So it's a good way to communicate. So that's the first thing. And I also do a lot of reminders for calls and things like that. So it's very important to have that, okay? Also, the Golden State Facebook page. I know not everybody likes to do social media. I only had a Facebook account so I could stalk my children, to be honest. But we actually use that closed Facebook page that is for the grand team that we're on, which is our Vice President, Dominique Rogers. His team is called Family First Life Golden State. That Facebook page, there is a lot of training on there. There are a lot of people who have recorded live dialing sessions. We cheer each other on. The numbers get posted. They post the leaderboards at the end of the week. So, and again, all like podcasts, any type of training is posted on there with links for you to have easy access to. So, sorry if you don't like Facebook. I don't either, but I've got that going. Okay, great, Nate. I will add you in the WhatsApp. Thank you. All right. So I definitely wanted to start with that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about for you guys is buying leads. Buying leads when you are brand new can be one of the scariest things ever. So, if you really think about it, leads to your life insurance business are like oxygen to your body or gas to your car. You really aren't going to do anything without them, okay? So what I recommend for the first time buying leads is to buy leads. They're called the second chance leads, and you can access those through the CRM, which is the Family First Life website. And that CRM is provided to us free from Family First Life for a full customer resource management where you can keep up with all your clients when you start selling policies. It's an awesome tool, but that's also where we go in and we purchase leads. So these second chance leads, by the way, there's no markup for them. Family First Life is not in the business to make money off of leads. So I think it's important that you guys know that to begin with. There's no markup there. And what I actually recommend for you guys for your first time buying leads is to take advantage of those second chance. You'll find leads from 50 cents all the way through $8. And I honestly don't think that you need to buy. You'll find even more, some that are more expensive than that. But for the first few times, any of those between 50 cents and $8, I think you can do really well on. And by the way, feel free to chime in and ask questions, or we can do questions at the end. Okay, I want you guys to, get good information out of this. So these older leads, the way I'm looking at them is they're basically like a cheaper education for you. You don't end up putting extra stress on yourself if you paid $1 for a lead, okay? You're not sweating as bad the first few times you call, and you're not sweating if they hang up on you or if you can't get them on the phone. You're kind of like, well, that was $1. That's okay. So you take the pressure off yourself when you do that, okay? And I think that's really important, is to not put too much pressure on yourself, because the first time dialing is never fun for anybody. Everybody needs to get good on the phone, but it does take a little bit of practice, okay? So that is a affordable way for you to learn, to fine-tune your skills. After that, we would be looking at adding in Facebook leads. Those are brand new leads. And they are the most inexpensive that we have for brand new, and you can get those as low as $15 each, okay? But just keep that in mind. I'm happy to talk to you guys individually after, once you have done all your contracting and you start to get your agent numbers. Like Lee, I know you got Americo today, so you definitely can get going. And let's see, I know both the Phils, Colby, all of you are ready to get, you can definitely get out there buying leads and start making calls. So with that being said, and Dallas just passed his test today. Congratulations, Dallas. So you'll be there soon. But I do also want to talk about the first time everybody dials. So I just, guys, I always want to be very honest with you all and not sugarcoat anything. So I'm just going to be completely transparent. I was an absolute nervous wreck the very first time I dialed. It was the phone weighed 1,000 pounds. I was afraid the people were going to reach through it and grab me and smack me or something. I remember hanging up on a few people when they answered because I was just so nervous, and when they answered, it totally freaked me out. So I just want you guys to know that is a very normal reaction. It's not fun. Nobody really likes to dial, but it is the most important part of what we do, so we do it. And to be honest, I really sucked in the beginning. I had to do everything I could, from listening to recorded calls about dialing, to getting in an office where other people were dialing so that I could hear them and then they could give me feedback. I had to record myself and send it to Dominique Rogers, my vice president, and get his feedback. I did all those things because I was not good, but I knew if I was going to make it in this business, I had to get good. So in all honesty, those are the things I'm going to recommend to all of you. So, have some scripts. Go over them before you get on the phone. You don't really want to be reading, but at the same time, you want to have something that you've read through a few times that you can look back to if you need to. Basically what I'm saying is give yourself permission to suck the first time, okay? And don't beat yourself up. So just know that the more you do it, the better you are going to get. Literally, repetition and activity are how you do get better, and I'm here to help you guys with that. So I do want all of you, especially, your first time dialing, I would really love if you would record yourself, like for 3 different dials when people actually answer the phone, and then send that to me, and then let's talk and let me give you some advice and critique a little bit so you can make some changes, and then you can get back to it, and then the next 3. And we'll just kind of work our way through that for the first time that you're dialing. And the other thing, as I speak to you guys individually, depending on where you're located, if there's a Family First Life office near you that is going to be, they have dial days when you're dialing, I'm going to highly recommend you go and join them, because that is a really good way to get better at it fast. Basically, and then the dial tracker. I forgot to mention that. The dial tracker is really important. I use that every week myself, and I use it as like a self-accountability tool. I know, James, you were here last week, and I showed you this, and I think I've sent it to a lot of you guys. But it helps me. I can get frustrated and be like, oh, gosh, I'm not booking appointments. And then, I look down and I see I've only made maybe 28 dials. And that, that's not really working. A dial takes about a minute, so I've worked for 28 minutes. So I, give myself a little attitude adjustment, and I get back to it. So I like using that tracker. And if you guys are using it and you're having trouble between the recordings that I want you to send me and then taking a picture of your dial tracker and sending that to me, it will help me help you. It will, give me some talking points to ask you questions and get more information, and hopefully help you over the dialing hurdles that we all kind of start with. So, and the one thing to keep in mind is 250 to 30 dials in the beginning is what you need to be doing on a weekly basis to set appointments and to get better on the phone. Our dial tracker goes up to 250. So if you are doing this full-time, or if you're doing this part-time hoping to be full-time, the more dials that you make, the better you're going to get, the faster you're going to do it, and the faster you're going to get in the appointments where I can then help you, do applications and protect families. So, guys, I wanted to go through that, and do keep in mind, on those first dials, you need to have a proper expectation, and that would be, that don't expect that you're going to book every single person, every single lead that you have. Okay, just be ready, buckle up. We all have to get kind of tough skin through that, and we all have to find our way through it. But I am definitely here to help you guys do that. The next thing I wanted to go into briefly was being ready for going into appointments. So Melissa has sent all of you an FFL checklist, getting ready for appointments. She sent that to you by email. In there's ordering carrier supplies, and Freddie is going to send all of you a separate one. Either or combining both work fine. These carrier supplies are orders, so like Lee, you got contracted with Americo, you can call them and order these supplies, and they will send them directly to your home or your office, wherever you want them to go, and there's no charge for any of the supplies, which is great because that means you don't have to. Yes.
This is Dallas. I haven't gotten any of those emails, just FYI.
Oh, no. And, Dallas, you won't. You're a little early for this, but I thought it would be beneficial to help you. You'll get those after you put in your contracting, okay?
Oh,
so
okay.
As soon as you get your license, you'll do contracting, and then you get those, okay? But
gotcha.
As I was saying, Lee, as an example, you got your Americo number. Once you get your writing number, you can call them for supplies. That way you don't have to print everything and use a lot of paper and a lot of ink and things like that. But before they come in the mail, it's always good to print out a couple of everything that Melissa sent you. There are a lot of attachments on that email. It's good to go ahead and print at least a couple of the applications in any of like the agent guides or underwriting guidelines, anything like that, to print a copy of that as well. Or have it saved on whatever you're going to take into the home to work with. And by the way, that brings me right to the touchscreen laptop or a tablet, which, Joe, you and I discussed this earlier today. So, guys, everybody uses something different, but most of what we do is an electronic application. So whatever you're going to take with you to an appointment, it needs to be a touchscreen device. I personally like a touchscreen laptop. Most people are using like an iPad or another type of tablet. But whatever whatever you already have access to, great. If you want something bigger and better, you can always do that, like once your commissions start coming in, things like that. So do keep in mind we do need something touchscreen for our clients and us to sign on. So now, I'm sorry, getting back to Melissa's checklist. So I want everybody to print out the forms. If you have any questions about which one, call or text me. Also in there, she referenced the AIG site. So it's a little bit little in the email. It was actually hard for me to see. But that is, we only do the guaranteed issue whole life with AIG, which is the 2-year graded policy for people who are sick, have major things going on. I wrote one yesterday for a man with HIV, okay? I have a lady with brain cancer. But you actually do have to click on that, register as a new agent, and then from inside there, you print your own forms. The forms have a barcode that contains your information and your agent number in it. So all of those you have to print once you have logged in, okay? And we do, you can quote directly from there and do e-apps from there. But it is good to have a couple of applications in case you get somewhere where there is no Wi-Fi. And, Joe, I think we talked about that today as well, which was a good thing to remind me. Guys, I personally have a hotspot on my cell phone so that in most appointments, I just go ahead and connect to my hotspot. I don't ask to use their Wi-Fi. I just think it's a little bit more professional, but you definitely can do that either way. If you have an iPad or tablet that already has cellular data on it, you can use that. But if not, it's, time to explore and see what you need to get so that you always have access to the Internet. And then we also talked about if you get somewhere very, very remote and there is no Internet that to attach to from anything, if it's impossible to get on, then you're going to want to be sure that you have paper applications and the things that you would need to do things the old-fashioned way in your car, your truck, whatever you're driving. I call it my rolling office. So do keep that in mind. Now, back to Melissa's email, she had quoting tools on there for you guys and calculators. That's how, when you call me and you're sitting with the client and you say, hey, Bob is 55, he's a non-smoker, he has this, this, and this, and I'm going to say, okay, you're going to quote him America's Eagle Premier. And then you're going to want to go right to that quoting tool on your phone and run those numbers so that you can present them to your client, Bob, that you're sitting with. So I do recommend putting those on your phone. You can put them on your tablets or whatever you're taking in with you. I personally like to do it right on my phone. I don't pull my laptop out unless I'm doing an application. So those are on there. You want to get those downloaded. You also want to bookmark all of the carrier sites like America, Mutual of Omaha, all the companies we work with. You want to bookmark those on your device and go ahead and be sure you get logged in. The first time you kind of have to register and make your password. You guys want to have all that done. I know, Colby, you've taken care of all that, so that's good. Then also in that email, Melissa shares the agent hotline. All of you need to save that to your phone. The way that works is it's like 6 or 7 of the top people on Dom's team are all connected to that hotline. So if you need help in a home and you cannot get me, then that is your backup plan, okay? But I will tell you, so far I've kept up with all my calls from agents. I tell everybody if I do not answer your phone call, I'm either asleep, and I do go to bed early, guys. I'm in the shower or I'm dead. Hopefully not that last one. But if you call me twice while you're in a home with a client and you don't get me, then I'm going to want you to use that agent hotline. And then the person who answers is going to do the same thing with you that I do when you call me, okay? So be sure you do save that to your phone. And then that kind of gets to why you guys will be calling me. We all use a client worksheet in all of our appointments. So your job when you get there is to give a brief introduction that basically is going to outline the structure of what you are there to do, and more or less kind of puts you in charge and sets the tone that you are the expert, you are the one that has passed that life insurance exam, and you are a licensed life insurance agent. And I have recorded that on my phone at the request of new agents, and I'm happy to text all of that to you. And my recommendation is to take that and kind of do something that sounds like you. I mean, everything that you hear in any training in Family First Life, most of it is plagiarized, stolen, borrowed, whatever you want to call it. We all copy each other. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And we, most of what we do, we have taken from other people's trainings and then kind of tweaked it to make it our own. Or maybe a bit from this person's, and I like the way this guy said this and the way this girl said that, and then I spin it into my own. So we don't all sound alike. None of us are the same. You know, we all have our own personalities. So it's important to be yourself, but also kind of follow the system. So I'm happy to send that introduction out. And then what we do is we fill out that client worksheet. Most of you, I believe, except maybe Dallas, which we'll get on that definitely, Dallas, have received the email from Freddie with that client worksheet in it and a video from Linda Lampasso, and she's an FFL agent who actually developed the client worksheet. And she goes over why each section is important and how you should ask for the information, and then how to use the information to help you make decisions about the best way to help that client. So it's a very good training. I do want you guys to listen to that before you get out in the home. But the main goal of that client worksheet is for you to gather that information, and then you're going to say something like, okay, so Bob and Mary, I am going to call my manager and make sure that what I'm thinking about is the best option for you. And then you give me a call, and you're going to give me the information, and I'm going to tell you the company, the product. I'll even tell you the amounts to quote and what to say when you quote it, okay? And this is how you guys learn. This is how Family First Life has new agents getting off to such a super fast start and making unbelievable amount of sales and making unbelievable amount of commission deposits in their banking account. And that's what we want for you guys. So I have been doing this. I'm in my 6th year. I pretty much have it down what carriers will take for what and all the nuances. And so when you call me and you give me the information, you know, and you tell me, hey, Bob is 55, he's a non-smoker, and he's on 4 high blood pressure medicines and 1 cholesterol medicine and nothing else going on with him. Well, guys, I know because I've been doing this that Americo does not like to take more than 2 high blood pressure medicines. So they're going to be off the table. So then I'm going to refer you to whichever company, whichever product that we're going to do. And I will tell you, okay, I want you to quote Mutual of Omaha's Living Promise, and we're doing that because he's taking more than 2 medications. And so the more we do that, the more you guys start to learn it and it sinks in. The next thing you know, you'll be calling me from a home and you'll be saying, hey, Paige, I'm with Bob, 55, on 4 blood pressure meds, and I'm thinking I should do Mutual of Omaha's Living Promise. And I'm going to say, you're exactly right, go ahead. So we will progress like that. And then it'll go to where you only call me when you hit something weird, or you're in an appointment where you feel like calling and getting that third-party validation will give you credibility with the client that you're sitting in front of. And I have an agent. Her name is Dawn Thomas. She's on our team. You guys can reach out. And she and I have gone through this, and she's at the point that she only calls me that literally if she's hit something, some medical thing she's not ever dealt with before, or she feels like, you know, calling me will give her more credibility. So I've seen this happen, not just with her, with others, but she's the most recent. So I think the main point of this is I don't want you guys to feel like you need to sit at home and study agent guides and learn your products, because the best way to learn those products is to go out into the homes and call me and do applications. And I think Melissa's email even put it in there, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Just like washing your hair, we're going to do it over and over and over again, okay? And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. The last couple things I want to cover real quick are we have a lot of weekly training opportunities. There is a Inside the Sales podcast that comes out. That's a national thing that comes out on Mondays. Let me flip over here. On Thursday nights at 9:30, and it's a little bit late for those of us on the East Coast because Dom and a lot of our team are on the West Coast, and we got everybody in between. That is a very short, like about a 20-minute call where Dom reads out the weekly leaderboard and then covers something short and sweet but very to the point, usually that's helpful. So you guys mark your calendars for that. Fridays, we have our own team call, the Team Empowerment in Continental. That is Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. And I'm sorry for all you Central Standard people. When we started that, it was we were only dealing with East Coast people. So we might shift that time. If that's going to be really hard for you, let me know. That's a quick 30-minute call. And we, Chantel and I are always aiming for topics that will help our growing team. Like last week, we had some of the lead vendors actually get on and explain their leads. A couple weeks before that, we had a guy named James Weir who is absolutely killing it on $3 and $1 leads, train on dialing those and setting appointments, which, by the way, we're going to email that out to all of you, okay? Because those are the exact type of leads I'm recommending you start with. Then we also have our next level training call. That is on Facebook Live from 11 to 12. If you're in a car or something, you can call into it. So these trainings happen every week. Dom also has a one-on-one podcast that gets released on Mondays. That's where us top people, like I just interviewed Keith Christmas, who's gone from he's already done $115,000 just in this year. So lots of good calls, and you guys can get the backlog of these trainings as well. And then the very last thing I want to explain is that we have a crazy week. We go Thursdays through Wednesdays. Takes a little bit to get used to, but all of you in the WhatsApp for the full team, you're going to see people posting their numbers because today is the last day of this week, and tomorrow we start a new week. So, and that's why we have that team call with Dom on Thursday nights for him to read over the leaderboard. That was, everything from that week, and Thursday starts a new week. So you'll see that on the WhatsApp, the posting of the numbers. And the way we do that is we do the number of appointments that we booked, and then we have number of sits. Sits means the people you actually sat down with, okay? Then we do number of applications, and then we do the total annual premium for everything that you submit that week. And AP stands for annual premium. So you guys will see that coming in on the WhatsApp today and probably tomorrow morning as people report their numbers. That way you can kind of interpret them. They don't just look like a bunch of mumbo-jumbo and you don't know what it is. But feel free to ask questions on that WhatsApp. The team will respond. You'll get good information. It is really there as a tool for everybody to help everybody. So I've run a few minutes over, but I do want to take a minute if anybody has any questions to address that. Have I overwhelmed everybody?
Now, will we have access to the recording that you just made?
Yes, ma'am. I will send that out as well. Absolutely.
Okay, because that helps those of us that are over 30 plus or 35 plus.
Lee, you're so funny. I think it helps everybody. I don't know that we are any of our memories work the way they probably should. But yes, we'll send this. I'm going to send this out to everybody who's on here so we can help with that. You can have it to replay and hopefully just because I'm doing this call, guys, does not mean I'm not available to you individually. The same with Freddie. Any questions, anything, don't hesitate to text or to call. I will tell you my schedule is I dial on Mondays for running appointments on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I dial on Thursdays for appointments for Friday, Saturday. So if it's a run day, or, if you guys just want to get in the habit of texting first, if you call me, that's no problem. If I'm in a home, I'm going to say, hi, Lee, are you in a home? And if you say no, I'm going to say, okay, I am. I'll call you back. So that's no problem. If you're in a home, 100% call me. And if I don't answer, call me right back, okay? But I want you guys to know that we are here. Doing this group call is because we had about 10 of you all at once, and we thought it would be easiest. But most definitely, we are here to help you guys individually in whatever you need, okay? So we're going to send out this recording, and I'm going to send out the call that we recorded about 3 weeks ago with James Weir, dialing the, I think it was mostly $1 and $3 leads. Okay? So we'll get that out too. Any other questions?
I have a question. Even with these less expensive leads, what would you suggest we budget to spend on leads every week?
So that question isn't as easy as you might think. A lot of it will depend on how quickly you get good at dialing. In the beginning, I'd say that you're going to want to have probably, 50 to 100 leads, which is why, I'm saying, hey, get the $1 leads, the $3 leads. But you're going to want to stack. You're going to want to stack to go through. The older leads, they're going to give you more objections on the phone. So they're a really good way, first, to get tough skin, and two, to start getting good at overcoming the objections. I'll tell you, it's important to not hesitate too much on the phone, to sound like you're the professional and you're in control when you're on the phone. And it's good to practice with these. So then as you get better, and honestly, guys, I am so committed to helping you grow that if you do the things that we're talking about, if you're really dialing and you're recording yourself every 2 or 3 dials and sending it to me for feedback, or you're coming, to an office with somebody else for feedback, and you're sending me pictures of your dial tracking sheet, and you're really working, when you get ready to make that next investment in leads, I'll match you. We'll come up with an amount, and I'll do half of it. If you're truly working and are truly committed, I'll pitch in for that next half of your leads. But, I'm gonna want to know, and I'm gonna want to be in communication with you a lot, because I'm here to help the people who are working, right? I'll do anything. So if anybody wants to take me up on that offer, please do. That's what we're here for.
And you're recording now, right?
Oops, I should have stopped recording before now. Holy cow, Lee, you caught me. No, I mean, I will, guys, I have a bad memory at times, but I always aim to be true to my word. And if it's something like I told you I'm going to call you at 6 and I call you at 6:30 because of my bad memory, that's not me not being true to my word, but I will always do my best. And Freddie and I will always do our best to help everybody be as successful as they can. And that includes, if you are putting in the effort, we will, help on that second batch. Absolutely.
I have one final question. I'm sorry, Paige.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Everybody else, all the men are being quiet. Come on, guys. Okay, go ahead, Lee.
Well, and again, this is probably answered somewhere, but I know there's a local office here in Raleigh. Who do we contact to look into the hours? That we can get in the office?
That is also not cut and dry. So, Lee, as soon as so the way that works, I can tell you that Chantel was usually there on Tuesdays and Saturday mornings, like 8:30 to noon, sometimes later. Other agents, we've given keys out to that office because, first Freddie and I were there until we moved down to the coast. So, but that office is still there and available for agents. So I know that Sarah, who is one of the top people on Chantel's team, she's there, I think, on Mondays and Thursdays. So on the WhatsApp, you can reach out to, you can say, hey, is anybody going to dial in the Raleigh office? And, Lee, once we actually get you dialing and moving, and I see you're actually working, we're fine to send you a key and for you to be able to come and go. We have a copy ready. Yeah. Anybody that is near Raleigh and wants to take advantage of that office, let me know. If you're near me in Wilmington, I'm here. James can tell you got to put up with my dogs, but we'll do our best to keep them out of the way. And we plan to get an office here in Wilmington, but, we're still helping some with that Raleigh office, and we're just not quite there yet, but we will be. We're growing just like everybody else. And, we have Virginia Beach and, let's see, Dallas. We talked about if you're moving to Florida, where we have them there. There is one in Texas, but I don't think it's.
Yeah, is the one in Houston? That's the closest one to Dallas, isn't it?
Yep. I think it's the only one in Texas right now is in Houston. But we have these, and we have them for you guys to plug into if it's close enough to make sense. And Nick, where are you located?
I'm in Raleigh.
You're in Raleigh. Okay.
Yeah.
So getting you in that office will be good too. And guys, Chantel is an absolute beast on that phone. So Nick and Lee, I would highly, even if that's not going to be your normal schedule, I would highly recommend getting in there while she's dialing so you can listen to her and she can give you feedback. She helped, you guys will see Jennifer Cornell on the full group. She's very new, and she went in there dialing, and goodness, Chantel gave her a lot of feedback. And after that, she started booking appointments. So I highly recommend, taking advantage of that. And again, it's easy enough. Is anybody going to be dialing in the Raleigh office? When are people, I'm new, I want to come to the Raleigh office to dial. When are you guys going to be there? And people will answer you. That's the type of environment we've set up there. So that way when you can go and be around other people dialing. And again, if you're doing it, we're happy to get you a key. We just have you sign a little thing saying that you won't tear up anything, and if you're the only person there, you're responsible for locking the door. No big deal. We're all grown ups. It's all good. Any other questions?
Hey, Paige, this is Philip Lucas here in High Point. I guess Raleigh would be the closest one to me, too, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Yep.
So I was going to start doing some dialing today because I already bought some leads. So do you recommend that I hold off and record my...
No, what I recommend is that you get ready to record those. And you know what, guys, there are all kinds of apps, free apps. So just go and find one that will record not only what you say, but what the person you're talking to says, and just record your first 2 or 3 dials that they answer, then turn it off and send it to me and let me listen to it. I'll call you, give some feedback, and then you can make 2 or 3 more calls. And, everybody, we can do that. If it's convenient to get to an office, but you're ready to dial sooner than somebody's going to be there, please don't wait. All these families need our help, and the faster you guys get going, the faster they are helped, and the faster you have money in your bank account. And that's the plan for all of this. That's the whole purpose of Family First Life, to help those families and ultimately help your own family. So, yes, Phil, I definitely want you to dial. And Colby, are you there? Colby, you're supposed to start dialing today, right? Colby, are you muted?
Hello?
There you are. Did you get leads today?
Did not. I got sidetracked, and it was very irresponsible of me. But
well, we'll forgive you this time. But let's definitely get on that. Because again, I guess you guys, you can also, in this new agent group, you feel free to have some healthy competition. check in on each other. This group is separate from the other. The other has some more established people. So if you guys have a question that you maybe don't feel comfortable asking in the big group, ask it in this group. Let's use these groups however you want. You're in both of them, okay? If you want to,
we should practice and call each other.
That you can, and you can also, if you want to do a little, I know there are days when I'm dialing and I'm struggling, and Chantel will call me and she's like, and I'm like, okay, so let's go the next 30 minutes and check in and see who's booked what. And so then it's like, okay, she goes, I'm going to try to beat you. I'm like, I'm going to try to beat you. And then it just puts a whole different perspective on dialing. Now I'm like, I'm in competition, and I get focused in on it, and I let go of that. Instead, I'm like, I gotta outdo Chantel, and so I just start dialing more, and I have a more directness when I get people on the phone. It's amazing what can happen, and this business can be very lonely. We spend a lot of time dialing. We spend a lot of time in our car driving to people. You meet with them, but then you drive to the next one, then the next one, and then you drive home. It's always best to have people to talk to that are doing what you're doing, or that have the similar goals, or maybe that are doing better than you are and you want to be like them. So please use these groups to make connections. You can find someone that you text with. Like I know I mentioned Dawn, the agent who's kind of progressed through the process. I put her in touch with Jennifer, and they text almost every day, just checking in on each other. And, it really does work best in that kind of environment. So I highly recommend it. And, don't hesitate. If you, again, Freddie and I are here for everything. Reach out to each other, reach out through these groups, and any way we can help, we definitely want to.
Yeah. I'm all for a buddy system, so.
There you go. I think it works great. I truly do. All right, well, guys, on that note, I'm going to let all of you get back to it. Philip, that means you get to dial. Yay! And we're all going to wish you the best of luck. And we'll get this recording out, the recording of James Weir with the older leads. And, guys, if you are able to get on the trainings when they are happening, that's my greatest recommendation. If you're working, and you miss calls, I do recommend listening to them, especially our team call and the next level call. We're aiming things specifically for where you guys are on ours, and the next level call, you got to be good to be on the national call, so everybody can benefit from that, okay? And again, any other questions, you can call, text, or reach out through the WhatsApp, and we're happy to help. Appreciate all of you taking time tonight to go through this.
Paige.
You are welcome. All right. I look forward to hearing from everybody. Make it a great night.
Thanks, Paige.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.